And hello, good evening.
Good evening. Special edition of the Evening Buzz.
Yes,
Prime time.
we have not gone to prime time before.
No, I
Um,
think it's the first one, right?
Is this
yeah,
our first prime time?
I think this is our first prime time, and it's a prime time address. Basically,
Ooh,
we
yeah.
were planning to use this in the morning buzz, but it was so good.
I wish we
Right.
could interrupt everyone's regularly scheduled programming.
If there was a
Right.
way
There
we
should
could
be
hack them.
a cut in somewhere.
Yes.
Um, yeah, so we have an interview, a sit down interview with Mr. Shaw, the man himself.
Correct. It's kind of like when Trump does the State of the Union, right? It's like, you just preempt all the local media shows and everything that's going on TV. Like,
Yeah, I
they'll
didn't
have to
want to start.
show some sitcom at like 3 a.m. tonight because this is going in its place.
Right. We're
Well,
pushing Grey's Anatomy back.
I did not want to start another fight with Amanda Hill, so we couldn't do it at 7 because I
No,
didn't.
we got to stay away from that. Shout out to Amanda Hill, though. I told her she maybe thought she was a little bigger than she thought, and then I turned on the TV and she's interviewing face to face with Dale Earnhardt. So, you know,
Yes.
I guess she had the last laugh there. She
She's
is
the big
Big
deal.
Ten.
She's big time.
All right, guys. Anything else we want to say here? I'm sure people did not tune in to watch us. I mean, they want us in the morning. So
Right.
Right.
That's
We're on tomorrow
special.
morning, right? We're in tomorrow morning. We got a show, right? We got a good one planned up.
Yep, we have a fan letter from Parkin.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. You're not going to miss that.
Buzz Media Squares.
Buzz Media Squares. I got to try to tie things up with you. It's going to be a good one. So, but for right now, here he is.
El Presidente.
Morning, and welcome to the Morning Buzz, Mr. Shaw. How's it going?
It's going well. It's going well, as well as it can go through the Zoom media. But other than that, it's going pretty well.
How's it going for Blaine? I heard he had a little bit of an accident the other day.
We had a bit of an I guess we'll call it an accident. We were moving some branches off the side of the road the other day, and he got the full spray down from a pile of slush when a car went by, quite literally from forehead to knees. And I got to say I'm exceptionally proud of the way he handled it, because he just wiped it off his face and started laughing, because what the heck else are we gonna do? I mean, it was.
You gotta make lemonade no matter how sour the lemons are, right?
That was a pretty sour lemon right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of lemonade going around, I feel like, lately. So, Mr. Shaw, we brought you on because we want to get some updates on things, how things are going to work for high school students.
Sure.
So, first off, I guess, let's hit the seniors right away, because
Okay.
obviously that's a big concern. So what can you give us for updates on how things are going to work for them?
So obviously, lots of questions around end of year activities with seniors, and we're working through that as best we can. I'm trying to work out a meeting with the senior class advisors, officers, and Miss Labrie this week to try to just have a brainstorming conversation about what we can do and maybe what we can't do. But what we're waiting for right now is some guidance, right? Like, I don't want to make a call too soon on this is what we're going to do when things might loosen up and we could do something more than that. So trying to walk kind of a line between when's it too soon to make the call and when do we have to make a call so people can make arrangements for it. We're going to do something with seniors. I don't know what it's going to be. I have to say it's probably going to be different than what we normally would do. And it's just a matter of figuring out what the parameters are going to be that we have to work in and around, and then put something in place at that point. I have some pretty good ideas in mind, but it's going to be dependent upon what we can and can't do when the time comes. So more to come on that. The details will be coming. I guess I have a timeline in my mind of like the first week in May. Like, we kind of need to know what we're going to do by then. And hopefully we'll have some guidance from either the CDC or the governor's office or somewhere at that point where we can actually put out this is what we're going to do. This is when we're going to do it. But until then, I don't want to make a call too soon, because I don't want to paint ourselves into a corner if we don't have
Nice. In an academic sense, right now for all students, really, what should be their focus? How much work should they be doing? What type of engagement are we looking for?
Yeah, so we actually put together and sent out last week. I sent it out to all parents. I think it was Thursday. I can't remember between the storm and the power outage and all that stuff, but I think it was Thursday last week. It's a guide for pre-K to 12, but there is a 9 to 12 section in there. And we've talked about this from the beginning, and you guys can jump in anytime you want. You've been in as network leaders in on the conversations, but I think we have been pretty clear from the start. We're looking at like an hour, maybe an hour and a half per week per class of academic work, and doing what we can with that kind of time frame in mind. Very similar to what other schools are doing. I'm having weekly meetings with all the other principals that are sending schools down to Tech Center down in Lewiston. So we're all having these conversations. It may look a little different schedule-wise, but time-wise, it's all about the same. It's in that hour to hour and a half time. And I think the key to that is really blocking off some time to do it and making a schedule for yourself. What we haven't done is make a green and white day schedule, and this class meets on this time and this class meets on this time. We've left that a little flexible by content area, and which seems to be working fine, but it's still that same time frame is about the same. So I would say that's kind of the overall workload. It may be a little different if you're in a dual enrollment class or an AP class, but that's the basic time frame on it. And I see that being the same moving forward. So we haven't got a final decision yet from anybody on whether or not we're thinking about coming back. But regardless, however long the closure stands, I think that's going to be the time frame that we go with.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Davis.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, same thing. I think the one thing from the teaching perspective, it's really nice if we get some student engagement.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing we miss, like in the classroom. There's any way kids like show up in the Google Hangout or the Zooms, email your teachers. It's hard when you post work and people do it, but you don't really hear anything back. That's that face-to-face stuff that's tough.
Yeah. And I guess
even just emails, even if you can't get on the Google Hangouts or whatever, and the Zoom's not possible, I've had some good email conversations back and forth with some students, but I hope more of you guys reach out, and that way we can kind of work through this together.
I guess what I would build on that, guys, is this is our perspective from the beginning. I've been really proud of the staff here in the building, but because our perspective from the start of this has been, what can we do for the well-being of everybody, and even getting on and interacting with either a Google Meet or a Zoom meeting or passing emails between yourself and a teacher, that does two things. It helps you keep sharp academically, right? But at the same time, it also helps with your overall well-being, like not feeling like you're stuck and isolated, and being able to have the best conversation we can have, even though it's not face-to-face, with people that we would typically be seeing at least every other day, if not every day.
Yeah, I felt really good last night when I got an email from Ava that was titled "To My Least Favorite Buzz Media Personality." That kind of personal connection really missed. Go ahead.
From an academic standpoint, in terms of grades, how are teachers handling the year-long classes right now?
So the year-long classes, and this goes along with what I was just talking about, looking out for the well-being of everybody involved. Year-long classes we had frozen sports and power school as of March, whatever the day was when we went out. I think it was the 13th, Friday the 13th, if I remember back, was a really great day. And so we had frozen those scores at that point in time, trying to figure out what we were going to do moving forward. And pretty quickly, we came to the conclusion that we weren't going to add anything into power school that was negatively impacting a course score for students. So in year-long classes, if whatever your score is, whether it's 2.6 or below or 2.6 or above or whatever it is, there's opportunity moving forward for students to improve those scores. And whatever work can be done, maybe it's something that was due a while ago before we went out, or maybe it's something that's been assigned or put out there since we've been out. That work can be done and included to improve the score that's in there, but we're not going to do anything to negatively impact the score that's in there. That being said, I'm not sitting here this morning or any day advocating for students to just be happy with what they have. I want students to get out there and continue to be engaged with their teachers and their classmates to whatever capacity they're able to do that. And I know for some that's difficult, and it may be an email once in a while, and that's all we can get, and that's okay. Like I said, whatever capacity people can be involved with, that's what we're encouraging people to or students to get engage with us.
Yeah. And also, like, there's some kids whose their grade is fine, they're happy with their grade. I would encourage them, like, you can just learn for the sake of learning too.
Absolutely.
And I know that a lot of teachers have tweaked what we're doing to try to make things more, kind of engaging and interesting. And I mean, there's not a lot to do when you're trapped in your house.
I think there's also something to be said for keeping your skills sharp too. Like if you just don't want to completely stop doing math for a few months here and then have to pick it back up again in the fall, if that's when we come back, or if you're not reading books outside of school, then read the ones the teachers are assigning you now, so that you keep your reading skills sharp, your writing skills sharp, your math skills. Do the workouts in phys ed, for that matter. I think exercise is important during this thing as well. And I think, as Evan mentioned, putting yourself on some sort of routine where you block out a little time for schoolwork, exercise, housework, whatever it may be, is a good thing.
And I think there's something out there for everybody, right? Like I know Isaiah, talking with you, there's some pretty open-ended history stuff that's out there. Like if you're interested in doing this for history, go ahead and jump in on it. I know with wellness and WellFit in the phys ed classes, they're doing a wellness journal or a wellness log with photos of things and descriptions of things that they've done or are doing while they're out. And whatever helps to keep, as Mike said, keep you sharp, go ahead and do that. I know the math people are putting out math practice for students to keep them engaged with that. Find something. If you need something, let somebody know. Shoot us an email. We're here in the office for basically every day. Give us a call and we can pick something up for you. If you need something out of your locker or whatever the case may be, I'll try to track it down and we can get it so you can pick it up.
How important part of people's schedule do you think Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 o'clock watching Buzz Media should be? Like the top thing on the priority list, or like the second? Like, where do you rank that?
So as I find myself in my position oftentimes, I don't want to overstate things and I don't want to understate things, right? Like I need to kind of keep a balance. But I think that the Buzz Media at 10 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is proving to be a key component of our COVID response. And I don't think there's a better way for people to engage with each other, even if it's just the comments on the side, and it's involving a lot of different people. So we have the groovers that are doing our music for us. We have Meg did the art for the cup and the
t-shirt.
The t-shirts. So we've got lots of people engaged with it, and I mean, I don't want to step on any toes, but I mean, if there were some students out there that had some content they wanted to share with you, I'm guessing you'd probably find a way to incorporate that into the show.
Absolutely.
Maybe we might have to censor it a little bit, like make sure it's all appropriate for the morning buzz. But I mean, the more people we get involved with it, it's just something that is easily accessible to people who have that internet access, and it just it's just there, and it helps to bring us together. So yeah, I think it's pretty important. Like I said, I don't want to overstate things, but I don't want to understate it. It's a big deal. And based on feedback we have gotten, the three of us have gotten, I think, the same feedback. There are very few, if any, other high schools out there that have the same thing going on. Like we're on the front side of the cutting edge instead of the back side on this.
Probably soon to be imitated, but never able to be duplicated is what we're looking
That is
at,
correct.
right?
That is correct.
It's that
Uh,
obvious talent that's key.
That on-air talent, yeah. Is the internet still available in the parking lot at school? So if
Yes.
kids needed to watch Buzz Media, they could drive to school and watch in the parking lot on their phone, correct?
Absolutely. If I started to get a daily showing out here in the parking lot, I'd go out and say hi. I'd keep my distance, but I'd go out and say hi. It didn't take long for the state troopers to figure out that our internet was open. They were out here the other day. Mrs. Gomont came in my office and said we had a couple of state troopers out in the parking lot, and she didn't know why. And I just poked my head out, and they were both going away on their laptops out there in the parking lot. But yeah, it's open, it's out there. It's definitely stronger right here by the front door. But feel free to stop by and access it.
Awesome.
Hey, one more thing just on the academic front. Can you differentiate a little bit between how year-long classes are operating versus semester classes? So
Yeah.
like if I had a semester 2 class, I haven't been in there very much. Where do I stand in that, and how are we proceeding moving forward?
So there's a couple of things to think about with the semester-long classes. So if I'm in a semester-long class, we met maybe just half the time or a little less than half the time that we were supposed to meet. That's not a good percentage, right, for a class. But that doesn't mean we want to just put them all by the wayside and make them go away. I'm still encouraging students to, or I think we're all encouraging students to engage with semester-long classes, but the semester-long class is going to be pass-fail rather than with a score or a number associated with it, simply because of the fact that we met basically less than half the time. So semester instructors are going to work with putting together lists of items that students can and should work on in order to get that pass for second semester. If there's a class that you can't work into your schedule, you get too much other stuff going on, and you don't finish it out, we're going to work with students to make sure that doesn't negatively impact them. But again, I'm not advocating that students stop doing semester-long classes. There is a differentiation between full year and semester, and that semester is going to be pass-fail. Some of them are a little more difficult, right? Like it's hard for a lot of students to do welding at home. So Mr. Lepovsky has been working with us and trying to figure out what we might do with that. But for the most part, students should be expecting to get a detailed list of things that they can and should be doing in order to get that pass for semester-long class.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Awesome, Mr. Shaw. Thank you. Always nice for you to stop by.
Hey, I'm glad
Where
to
are you
stop
going
by.
fishing today?
What's that?
Where are you going fishing today?
I'm not going fishing today. The water's too high. So I was thinking about getting out there and hitting some streams here pretty soon, maybe the river. But now I gotta wait for it to go down. It looked a little like coffee yesterday morning or yesterday afternoon when I went home. So I gotta wait for that to go back down. But we're gonna get out there soon.
Oh, I have one last question for you.
Okay.
Today, being Wednesday, is Roy Nickerson's 100th birthday.
Today's Tuesday.
Well, yeah, but
tomorrow's Wednesday.
right.
Sorry, I messed up the whole
Pretending
thing.
we're live, and you're kind of
Oh,
like,
yeah,
oh.
yeah. Sorry, I destroyed it.
So it's Roy Nickerson's 100th birthday.
That's unbelievable.
What was your favorite thing? I'm sure you went to Nickerson's.
Absolutely. So I don't know if you discussed this or not, but Nickerson's used to have their store over there in Turner Village, right on the bank of the river. And as a little kid, it was always kind of sketchy walking up the stairs because you either on the stairs or in the river. Like there was really little in between, or at least that it seemed like to me. But my grandparents used to have every Sunday. He would decide a Sunday paper for them, so we would go over Sunday mornings and pick up the newspaper over at Nickerson's store. So that's a memory of the store itself. But as Roy was good friends with my grandparents, So they used to, Roy and my grandfather and a couple others used to go ice fishing a lot, and actually spent a couple of weekends up at Moosehead with Roy and my grandfather and a couple other guys. That was quite an experience for the 10-year-old Mr. Shaw up here in the North Woods with those fellas ice fishing and snowmobiling around. So yeah, I have some great memories growing up of Roy and personally and also at the store.
Yeah. So Roy's wife Thelma is my father's mother's sister. So
Okay.
Thelma would be my great aunt, which would make Roy my great uncle, I believe, of some sort. So we've known them for quite some time. I bought a lot of baseball cards at Nickerson store when I was a kid, for sure. And when we have family reunions on that side of the family, they're at Roy's house up there, just off from Route 4, up above the Calvary School there. So yeah, a lot of good memories. 100, it's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
That's awesome.
Very cool. And look, not to, I don't want to, leave this out. Like, he was a state representative for quite some time. Like he worked up at the State House, and that was always great for us as a town to have him up there and representing us. So I also remember him coming into town meetings when he was doing that and speaking about that.
I just
Never
remember
afraid to speak his mind.
going in the store as a kid. My dad would send us across from the bait shop to get like the evening paper, the Lewiston Evening Journal.
Yep.
Spending the change, and they if they had a new candy item or something in, they'd always give us one for free, telling us that we needed to test it out for them. I just loved going there. Get some Nizinska spring soda.
Yeah, there you go. Gotta have a bottle of Nizinska soda.
All right, thanks a lot, Evan.
All right, thank you guys. Have a great day.
Thanks.